and welcome to my kitchen, and tonight we're going to make peanut brittle. I've had several of you ask me, can you please show us how to make peanut brittle? They've watched a couple other videos online on people making peanut brittle, but they were unsure about a couple of the procedures or the ingredients or a combination of the two. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw together some peanut brittle tonight. It's very close to Christmas, and in fact is the Friday before Christmas. Today is the 20th, so we have Christmas in 5 days.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no? You better get your shopping done, sweetheart. The mall's right up the street. So I thought, you know what? Peanut brittle is also one of my go-to quick and easy kind of giveaways for friends, neighbors, co-workers, etc. I used to have, when I lived in Arizona, I had a friend of mine who was a UPS driver. He, in fact, was my UPS driver. I always joke that I'm the only person I know who ever just invited their UPS guy to their wedding because he was so cool. And anyway, we're going to make peanut brittle. And what you need to make peanut brittle is like really simple. It's sugar. We have 3 cups of sugar. A cup of golden syrup is what I have, but you can use light corn syrup. I just prefer not to use corn syrup. We're going to need 3 cups. I have raw peanuts here. You can choose to use dry roasted. You can use salted or unsalted. If you use salted peanuts, omit the salt that I'm going to add. We're going to need 1/4 cup of water, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. So really, we're going to go ahead and you're going to need a candy thermometer. Make sure you have a good one. This one is an excellent candy thermometer. These can be had for about $13 to $15, or you can use the typical bulb style candy thermometers that you can find all over the place this time of year. But if you have one sitting in your drawer, go ahead and throw it away and buy yourself a new one. So when you're making candy, you don't want to leave anything to chance, and even the difference of a couple of degrees can really change the outcome of what you're making. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my sugar in this heavy bottomed saucepan. I'm also going to go ahead and add my water, and I'm going to move this over here. And my golden syrup. And we're going to also throw in our salt. Now we're going to move over to the stove. We're going to bring this to a boil, and I'll bring you back when we're almost there. Alright, we're back. I didn't want you to have to watch the sugar melting until it came to a boil, but it's come to a rolling boil. And it is at around 260 degrees right now, but don't worry, because now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our peanuts. I actually had to take a phone call. You can add the peanuts before now, so don't worry about that. Now you're going to get your peanuts in here and get them all separate and stir it in there really well. And this is when the painful waiting time takes place, because I mean, I have my arm in the way, but now you're going to wait for this to come back to a simmer, and you want it to boil, but you don't want it to boil over, okay? And there's not really any chance of that happening, but we're going to bring this back to a boil. See, that temperature dropped again, but you're going to want to cook this now until the thermometer reads to the hard crack stage, which is 300 degrees. So when it's right before 300 degrees, we're going to come back and I'll show you what happens next. A couple of things that I failed to mention. Have a rimmed baking sheet. This is a half sheet pan, so it's about 15 by 18. Butter it well. I just smeared butter on here with my hands and just set it aside, okay? Make sure you have this ready before your brittle is ready, because if you don't have this ready and your brittle is ready, you're going to have a big mess and a big disappointment. The other thing I wanted to make sure that you knew, always use a metal spoon when making boiled sugar or any type of hard candy. Do not use silicone, do not use rubber spatulas, do not use wooden spoons, because they can retain a lot of water, especially if you put them in the dishwasher, and they will throw off your formula. And when you're talking about making a boiled sugar candy, your formula really is extremely important. So that's what I failed to mention, and now I'm going to go and I'm going to wait for this to come back to a boil, and when it does, I'll come back and I'll show you what happens next. Alright, we are reaching, if we haven't already, we are at 300 degrees right now. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
Okay, we're at 300 degrees. Now, we're going to gently take this out and set it aside. And we're going to remove this to the other burner where there is no heat. And we're going to put in vanilla extract. Okay, and we're going to put in our baking soda and we're going to stir, 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 stir. You're going to see a chemical change take place. This is going to start to become opaque. It's going to start to foam, and that chemical reaction is going to take place. You want to get all of that incorporated very well, so get your spoon down in there and get that baking soda in every nook and cranny of your pot. This is what makes peanut brittle brittle. The baking soda. It is science, Jesse. That's right, Jesse. It's science. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this over here for just a second. I'm going to bring the pan over. And then we're going to pour. Be very, very careful. Okay, I have asbestos fingers because I've been cooking for a very long time. And if my hands get in the way, I apologize, but little can be done about this. Is hot sugar. This, just put in your sink. Run water in there. Now, this pan is going to be hot. And then you're going to want to take a spoon or a fork. Distribute these peanuts, because the peanuts all kind of went to the center, and you want everybody to have a bite of peanut in their peanut brittle. This is going to start to set up very quickly. Okay, so don't worry. And if you use corn syrup, your peanut brittle is not going to come out as dark as mine. Mine is dark because I used golden syrup. But it's not going to be any less delicious. And I see that we're lacking some peanuts down here, so I want to make sure that at this point you can manipulate this just a little bit. Alright, now don't try to touch that. Don't put your finger on it. Don't put your tongue on it. Put it in the sink. In the water. Let it sit. And don't touch this pan unless you have a towel or a pot holder. Please just let it sit here at room temperature for about an hour. We'll come back to this when it's time to break it up into pieces. Alright, we're ready, and as you can see, I've already broken some up. It comes right out of the pan. See, and make sure your hands are... And it breaks up really easy. I want to do this into bite-sized pieces. There really is no substitute for homemade peanut brittle. It has a delicious, rich flavor, and it's crunchy, and it's sweet, and it really is an old-fashioned favorite. And I know a lot of people in my family enjoy it. I don't make it very often. I haven't made it in actually a few years, so... You know, it's one of those things that when you do make it, it ends up being a real treat because everybody really enjoys it.
Mom loves it.
Your mom loves it? My mom doesn't like peanut brittle so much. She's not really one of those hard, crunchy candy people. Mom's not really a big sweet person. She makes a lot of great sweets, but she doesn't like to eat a lot of them. And you just need to keep this in an airtight container. You can give it in a cellophane bag and enjoy. Another great thing to do with it is to take pieces like this size and dip them in chocolate. That's really gilding the lily, but it's a super fancy kind of nice holiday treat that you can give people, and it's unexpected because this is really great when it's dipped in chocolate or covered in chocolate. So that's how you make peanut brittle. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned something. I hope that you try it. I hope that you love it. And until next time, happy holidays!